Howdy gamers, Old Gamer Guy here. Welcome to another Stellaris Console Edition video. The saga of the Haven Commonwealth continues. The galaxy is in an uneasy peace. A war between multiple empires has just recently ended, and so now the Haven Commonwealth is sort of nervous because the derp who were involved in that war now have nothing to keep their attention, and so in the past that has usually meant that they will eventually attack us or they will attack our allies, the League of Valshow. So we're kind of expecting that to happen. A group of civilian transports has arrived in one of our systems carrying Visari refugees. The Visari are a race that became part of the Haven Commonwealth long ago. I believe we uplifted them from a pre-sentient state, and they became productive members of our empire. That planet was taken over a long time ago by the derp, but now refugees are arriving. But hold everything. We have detected subspace echoes, signals from outside of our galaxy. They appear to be approaching. And it says this begins the coming storm event chain. A storm is on the horizon, which sounds, of course, quite ominous. So we can go into our situation log. And we can't track anything, but it says coming storm, which, that makes me a little bit nervous, I'll be honest. But what the heck, let's celebrate the impending invasion of hostile forces by terraforming a tomb world. This planet has been in my space for a long time, and I did not have the resources to terraform it, and who knows if we'll ever live here. The coming storm may wipe us out, but I'm going to go ahead and start terraforming this into a continental world. Got to think positive. And here is what thinking positive gets you. Because the derp have once again declared war, not on us, but on our allies, the League of Valshow. But because we're in a defensive pact, we are once again involved in a war with the derp coalition. The autocracy of Nur is joining in on our side. And the Jibru Star Dynasty is joining in on the side of the derp coalition. As usual, my fleet is not what it could be because I've been concentrating on expansion, terraforming, and constructing buildings and upgrading buildings and all that stuff. So I have built a fleet, but it's only about half the size of what it could be, potentially. But that's okay, because our usual strategy is not to take on the derp directly. There's a bunch of activity up there near the League of Valshow, but as usual, the derp send a sizable fleet toward the doomed sector, which is that little blue circle there in the middle of their orange space.
Hostile fleet detected.
This is what always happens. Although this enemy fleet looks smaller than it was last time, so that's interesting. Still more than large enough to invade.
Station under attack. Evading
And
hostile fleet.
As usual, they go into the doomed sector. This time there is a military fortress there that the AI built because this sector is under AI control.
Spaceport lost.
Our spaceport is already gone, but the military station lasts longer than I expected it to.
Military station lost. Construction complete.
Still didn't last very long, and as usual, the derp go ahead and destroy some mining stations.
Lost.
And then as usual, they turn and head toward the planet Core Prime, where they would normally begin bombarding in preparation to invade and occupy. But this time they fly right on by it. So that's different. Something has changed in the derp war strategy. They appear to be heading toward my space, which is not unusual, but now I'm kind of nervous, and I think maybe their plan is to occupy Iraglia, which is my main system. So I moved my fleet out of the way, because there's no way that my fleet can take on their fleet. My usual strategy is to avoid their main fleet as much as possible, and I fly into their space and I destroy some of their mining and research stations, and I try to negatively impact their war effort.
Hostile fleet detected. Evading hostile fleet.
But they fly right through Iraglia onto the next system, so I breathe a little bit easier as my fleet approaches their space and prepares to destroy some of their mining and research stations. As usual, they do take an interest in this system. This always happens. They go ahead and destroy the mining and research stations here. This time I've got a spaceport here. It's the most basic spaceport you can have. Its purpose is basically to have solar panels on it, really.
Spaceport lost.
So it doesn't last very long. But they don't go toward the planet. They just destroy these mining and research stations of mine. And they really only take out the ones that are kind of in the immediate vicinity where they warp in. So they're doing their usual thing, and we are doing our usual thing and destroying a few of their stations.
Alien spaceport engaged.
We warped into a bad tactical position right here. It didn't end up costing me my fleet, but there was a military station and a spaceport, and then there's another spaceport over here. And we take them out, but we are losing some of our ships now.
Updated.
But look at this, we've got an update. Those signals from outside the galaxy are now approaching the outer rim, and it says there's a point of interest. Apparently, we can see where the breach point will be. So if we take a look at the map here and then look at our situation log, and go down to the coming storm event, and we can choose to track all coming storm events on the map. We'll do that and take a look, and there it is. It's obvious. Multiple breach points within the space belonging to the autocracy of Nur. So they're going to get hit first. Meanwhile, the derp fleet, as usual, has taken notice of what we are doing in their space. They have returned to stop us, and as usual, they are destroying us. But I'm okay with this because, as I see it, we are distracting their main fleet from doing other things. And in the past, this has led to an eventual derp surrender.
Updated.
Or at least a peace offering, if not a surrender. But this time is clearly different. Different things are going on. We are now picking up another subspace signal. Approaching from intergalactic space, and this signal is strong enough that we can establish a visual feed. So let's take a look at our screen, and oh my god, what the hell is this thing? It's speaking an alien language we cannot understand, and all we can do is turn our screens off in fear and disgust. There are some enemy ships within our space, but these turn out to be from the Jibru Star Dynasty, who are aiding the derp in this war. So it appears that they are going to invade our space. But I'm not sure if I should be more nervous about that or more nervous about these approaching whatever they are up here. I have a feeling that those things are going to be worse. But for now, I think we're going to end this video right here. This seems like a good spot. Ominous events are happening. Sure, it's a war, but it looks like something worse is approaching. So we will see what happens in the next video. As usual, thanks for watching.